I call this meeting to order at 6:33 on March the 15th, 2022. And we will do the roll call first. Mayor Pro Tem Villalobos.
Here.
Councilmember Bunker.
Here.
Councilmember Shell Allen is gone. And Councilmember McLeod is gone. He thought he might try to zoom in, but I don't see him. Councilmember Clinton,
Here.
and I am Mayor Glaze. If you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now to the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
And then if you would remain standing for the invocation. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, Father, for the gift of salvation, a gift of mercy and justice. May we act as wisely. Thank you for the opportunity to serve the people of Martindale. Help us to act with character and conviction. Help us to listen with understanding and goodwill. Help us to speak with charity and restraint. Help us, Lord, to always seek your direction. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Right. So if we could have public comments. Ms. Harper, did you say you had a public comment?
I'm the only one. Okay, I'm here tonight to represent Martindale Community Library. I'm the board chair. Okay, now there's several events that we are facilitating this spring, and Catherine's got two of those on y'all's calendar. Thank you.
Oh, so do I need to add a third one?
Okay, the first one and most closest to today is the COVID vaccine clinic, which is this Saturday from 5 to 7. It's going to be in the Crook building, a couple of buildings down. And this is for ages 5 and up. And you can get your first, second booster. And now then they're talking about a fourth vaccine because of a new variant that's around. I didn't know if y'all knew that.
I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I had a question though. I mean, I heard that the shot was only the first and second shot
No.
and not the third.
No,
booster.
any shot the COVID vaccine.
Okay.
And there's Pfizer and Moderna both are, they just have to take your shot card. And the group sponsoring it is the Vaccine Action Collaborative. And this was formed in Caldwell County and also some other nearby areas because we were an underserved area with very low vaccination rate. But again, that vaccination rate is coming up because of our vaccine clinics over the county. Now, the second thing is Kite Day, which is Saturday, April 9th from 1 to 3 in Allen Bates Park. Okay, we're providing some kits for the kids to build a kite there on site and then fly it. Also some take-home activities for different age groups. And we're also going to have some bottle rockets for older kids or adults. Now, these are not the bottle rockets that y'all think of at 4th of July. Okay, these are 2-liter bottle filled with water, use air pressure, use Newton's third law of motion. Y'all need to look that up. This is a great use of our city parks and also it's a really good family time. We had a really good time last year. Okay, and the rain day is April 23rd. Okay, the third item is a grant writing seminar, and this is May 11th and 12th from 9 to 4 each day in the Crook building. This is sponsored by Caldwell County and the grant administrator, Dennis Engelke. I think I'm saying his name right. Anyway, all the library is doing is that we set up the tables and clean up at the end of the day. Okay, it's a $25 fee for each person that wants to come. And at the end of both days, at the end of the seminar, you will have a finished grant to submit. And I highly recommend somebody from the city of Martindale to go. There'll be refreshments, and I heard that lunch would be served by the River Cafe. So that's a really good incentive to go. Finally, if you don't have a library card, got an application for a card. This is free. And if you go to any of the neighboring cities to get a library card, they charge you big bucks. Because I know when I retired, I went to San Marcos Library, Catherine, I don't remember what they charged, but they did charge.
Yes.
I was not happy.
Thank you.
The children get them free.
You know, it's free, yeah.
The children
Oh, the children,
can go to San Marcos for
oh,
free.
okay,
If you're a student. Even
Yeah,
if you're a
if you're a student.
baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
Student
Any
friendly.
child that
There.
can attend
Thank you.
San Marcos.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so, reports, I kind of have been doing it. I've been looking at, what's happening around the city, and then I was gonna do a little bit more to put in utility bills. So the one thing I really wanted to make note of, I need help, is next Monday is Sylvia's last day. So if we could find people, if you can call people to let them know to come by between 1 and 2 to wish her well, I would appreciate that. So that's going to be that on Monday. And is there any other questions on this list? If not,
Are you planning anything other than for Sylvia, between the time frame of 1 and 2? Is there any other?
the
Function.
staff is going to have lunch at 12.
What about the Northwest River Road project?
Pardon me?
Oh, I guess that's not everybody's invited to that.
To which one?
The Northwest River Road.
Oh,
project.
yeah, it's open to the public. Letters have been sent yesterday, I think it was, to all of the residents there. And I did find, yes, ma'am.
Are y'all having a Sylvia Gomez Day?
Possibly. Possibly, yes.
We should have made a proclamation. But the letters have been sent to the people along Northwest River Road, all of the different properties, to the property owners, letting them know that we're surveying. And I saw the surveyors out there today already, so
But this thing on March 22nd is not it.
on March 22nd.
No, it is on
No, that's the
24th,
public
the
hearing.
20.
On the next Tuesday night, on the 22nd, there's 3 different entities that have applied for the scenic corridor. So the fire station, the new firehouse, we have to
Yeah.
approve that one. And then the Martin Garcia down at the end of Northwest River Road, he wants to put in a couple of food
Okay.
trailers.
Okay, so my thing is on the 24th. Yeah. That's what I was worried about.
Oh, the
Okay.
informational meeting for
Yes.
Northwest River Road, yeah.
And then the third thing.
And then the open house for the police chief finalists is on March 26th. They do karaoke. They start setting up for karaoke at 5 o'clock. And we can bring in our own platters of food. So that was really nice. That'll be a little bit less money than having to buy burgers for everybody. We'll probably buy drinks from the Burger Barn, but there isn't a charge for the use of the room, so that's really nice. And there's gonna be a lot of parking, so we should be good.
So how is on the 26th, how is the city or the community finding out about this?
Well, this goes out in Thursday. This will be mailed. This note's from, I'll take off that last one between May and 10 and 17. There's a few little notes I put on here just to remind myself of what has to happen.
And we'll update the website with all this information.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it going to be on the
Yeah.
calendar? And where is the fire department fundraiser?
Oh, it's at the school. Bill's working on those. The tickets are at the printers right now. And Riley's barbecue place is going to cook all the meat So he's working on the
Where is
tickets. And that's
The
on
3rd.
Sunday, April 3rd, that afternoon. And
It's at the hotel or
at the
wherever.
school, at the old school,
In the gymnasium or in the schoolhouse?
in the
portion?
gymnasium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so from 3 to 7 is when they're doing that. They're gonna have music. Mark Youngers is playing and he's got
Okay.
Joel Hoffman playing
Oh, really?
also. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. It's just a matter of getting the word out.
What
It's-
was it that you said, Jan, that you're doing?
That is for the letters are going out so that you can have a public meeting for all the people, for the Northwest River Road, so they can get permission to survey for our road.
Oh,
And they
That's-
went out
yes.
yesterday.
Yes, and that just, I've been kind of making sure that gets done.
Yeah.
do
But
you,
I saw survey markers
what
out
is the
there.
company, who's the company?
It's our engineering firm.
Yeah, Ferdman and
Berg
Okay.
are supervising it, and I believe they've subcontracted out to Summit or something, or a name closely related to the word Summit
oh, okay.
as their surveying firm.
So that's not an event, that's just to let everybody know this is what's going on.
Well, the 24th will be an event. The 24th is a open house for members of the community who are interested in the project, but particularly those who live along Northwest River Road and who will be impacted by the project.
Right.
For them to learn more about it, because we have requested a right of entry onto their property to complete additional surveying activities.
And what time is that open house?
6:30,
In the evening?
yes.
I had okay, excuse me. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sure.
I had a question about Kite Day in the park. Is there going to be a need for any electricity? Electricity. Okay.
Kites?
Well, I mean, they got a music or
Gotcha.
ice, snow cone maker, or I don't know.
Where they might need electricity.
So,
I see what you're saying.
yeah, because we were having problems with the GFI plugs there. I think we should try and address that soon, though.
Yeah,
Last year,
Email
they didn't use
Susan.
electricity for Kite Day.
No,
I'd email Susan.
okay. Yeah. Well, they're having their meeting too.
Oh, they are?
If we end this one quickly, might be able to get to it.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, are they next? Yeah, we have real quick things.
Things to go. Okay.
New business.
It's Jared's on.
Okay, hiring activities. So as we briefly mentioned, we're having the chief of police meet and greet on the 26th. A formal announcement will be put out on our website. We'll be requesting biographical statements from the candidates and hope that's a good turnout. So let your constituents know, those on city council, let those people know that you talk to in the city, encourage them to attend and get to know who the candidates are.
Are all three still interested?
The next on the list is, you mentioned Sylvia's retiring, and so there will likely be a temporary appointment or maybe a full appointment that city council will need to make at the next scheduled council meeting. So on the 22nd, there's a planning and zoning meeting scheduled. There might be some items that we need to address that would require city council. At that time, we could appoint, the city council could choose to approve or confirm the appointment that the mayor makes. I know she's still in progress of, we've talked about that. We're not ready to make a decision on it yet, but that's in the works. The zone related to agenda item 5C regarding the resignation of Councilmember Lisa Shell Allen, place 3. We're still finishing up some of the documentation on that. So it may be worth, before we get to that agenda item, going into a short 5-minute recess so we can clean up some paperwork, get that all in place, and then reconvene and then proceed with the vote on that topic, just so we have things like that. And then the building official, the mayor and I conducted a second interview with another candidate who's interested in the position, and he will be given a, well, that might be an action for the 22nd or a future city council decision, vote, discussion and action. That's the word I'm thinking of, to appoint that person as a building official. So that might be on the 22nd or shortly thereafter. I think that's a rundown of all the hiring activities. For a small city, it's quite a lot.
I had a question about, oh, sorry. I had a question about March 22nd, the meeting then on the 3 properties. Do we have something on website or some drawings or some schematics or anything to look at involving those?
There will
items?
be,
You will get it.
Okay,
You will get it.
likely tomorrow.
The letters have
Or-
been sent out to all the neighbors.
mhm.
In fact, Jared met with one set of neighbors yesterday for about an hour.
Okay. Jan always wants us to be prepared and look at stuff before the meeting.
Yeah, you'll have that in advance.
I'm speaking up for
Blame it
you.
on me.
I'm blaming it on Jan.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so moving on to number 5, discussion, action, and order of cancellation of the city council of the city of Martindale, Texas hereby cancels the election scheduled to be held on May 2nd, 2022, in accordance with section 2.053A of the Texas Election Code, and the following candidates have been certified as unopposed: Sonia Villalobos, Sonia Gonzalez Villalobos, place 1, Nicholas Dyler, place 3, and Mike McLeod, place 4, and are hereby elected, and that the order will be posted on election day at each polling place that would have been used in the election. And so here is the order of cancellation. The City Council of Martindale hereby cancels the election scheduled to be held on May 7th, 2022, in accordance with section 2.053A of the Texas Election Code. The following candidates have been certified as unopposed and are hereby elected as follows. And then it's in Spanish, but I'm not going to read the Spanish portion.
Come on now.
Do you want to read it? Sonia Gonzalez Villalobos, council member, place 1, full 2-year term. Nicholas Dyler, council member, place 3, full 2-year term. Mike McLeod, council member, place 4, full 2-year term. A copy of this order will be posted on election day at each polling place that would have been used in the election. And I will sign this. And then Sylvia will sign it. Okay, thank you.
So do we need to make a motion?
I don't think we need.
Go ahead. You can do it if you want to.
Okay.
It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah,
I'd like to make a motion to accept the order of cancellation of the city council for the city of Martindale for Sonia Villalobos, Nicholas Styler, and Mike McLeod.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Okay, everyone that is in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I want to, motion didn't cancel those people, but it canceled the election that was scheduled on May 7th.
Right,
The city count, did I say city council election?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
No.
you said the people.
Okay, the city well, I meant the election, to cancel the election,
Of those people.
yes,
That
Yes.
are
Of Sonia.
unopposed. That are
Yes.
unopposed.
that are unopposed.
That was correct. Sylvia. That was correct. Okay.
Okay, the next one is discussion and action on calling a special election in November 2022 to reauthorize the sales tax for street maintenance as prescribed in section 327.007 of the tax code.
Yeah, so,
Right.
to fill council in, so I believe it was 2017, 2016, 17, I think is when it went into effect. An election was, I believe, was in 2016. The city council put on the ballot a proposition for the members of the community to vote on to elect to adopt a 1/4% sales tax to be used exclusively for street and road activities under the appropriate government code. That expires after a period of 5 years. And so that will expire in May of 2023, I believe, or April 2023. We have roughly a year from now. So the city council has a choice whether to let that die off, which I don't think that wouldn't be my recommendation. The other option is to continue with that as is. So put another proposition or ballot initiative on the ballot for the city to vote on, readopting that tax. Or this, if the city wanted to, you could adopt the same sales tax percentage as a general use. I don't think it really doesn't make one difference or another in budgeting in terms of the amount of money we spend on street and road maintenance, because we spend more than what we collect under that sales tax provision. But I think it's a good messaging and as a policy, communication to the city that we take it seriously to continue having that 1/4% as a street and road dedicated to street and roads. But that's not your only option. You can also take that 1/4% and use it for general funds as well, if you so choose. So this is mostly just a discussion item. There's nothing that we would take action on tonight, but we have worked with the Texas Comptroller's Office, inquired about it. They've sent us a letter. We've had some communication. Want to make you aware that that's coming up. And then if there's, I guess you can vote on a preference if you wanted to, one of those three options, but it wouldn't necessarily put that on the ballot. I think there's other activities that would need to be presented for council and adopted in form of a resolution or ordinance of some kind to formally put it on the ballot. But looking for council and what you want to do.
Well, so if we want to do it, we still have to put it on the ballot, and also it will be the only thing that we are going to have on the ballot, but it's going to cost us.
In November.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a
governor's
Even-
election though,
so
so
it
we'll
Yes.
bear in mind.
Okay. So it'll be shared by the county.
We can find out. by
Yeah, and
the
that's
next
fine.
meeting.
Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm for it. And I think maybe we ought to wait to vote when we get full council. Well, I guess actually this is pretty full.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
My question
So-
is, do we have any idea, see, pardon me, Twain is not here, but do we have any idea what type of funds we've generated as a result of that 1/4%?
That's in last year is about $19,000, $18,000.
Okay, that's significant.
Yeah, that's a significant amount.
Mm.
We budgeted, I think, for about 20 or 24,000 in this current fiscal year.
And it's
budget.
been helping with potholes and stuff, right?
I mean,
It's coming out of that fund.
yeah, in the past, I mean, that we have adjusted our funds control to better account for those funds that have a restricted use, like the street and roads maintenance. In the past, it was accounted for within our general fund before we separated it out, so a back office accounting process. It hasn't changed our overall level of spending from one year to the next. We've always spent roughly $40,000 on street and road maintenance for the last 3 or 4 years. But of that 40,000, about half, a little less than half, has been funded through this tax.
Well, I think we've been keeping our potholes in check, so I think it's been well worth it. Also, I was reading that tax code and it mentioned cities that were like, the population of 10,000 or more, nothing about cities that were 10,000 or less.
I'll have to look
Do we
at,
have to do it?
no, you do not have to adopt this. You,
No. I meant, if we want to continue this, because I'd like it to
Yeah.
be continued
We do have
For-
to do.
for councils that come up.
And the problem is it expires next March in 1 year. So the state was
Oh, okay.
very nice in giving us a reminder. Unfortunately, it came after we had already canceled this
And
election.
that's fine.
And so the only election time that we could do it is in the fall.
And that's fine. And I,
unless we want to do a special election and pay for all ourselves. but
Yeah,
we don't do
pay
that.
for everything.
No.
And then it's likely to not pass because, but if you're doing it with the governor's election, it's more likely to pass.
Mhm.
So is our sales tax like, it was 8% and then it became 8.25? Or how does this equate with our sales tax in general or?
Yeah, so I don't want to misquote the exact percentage, but there's a portion of the, I think it's 8.25, 8.5, or something like that. 8.25.
Mhm.
That goes to the state, that goes to the county. Under the recent election for the emergency services district, they get a cut of it. And the bits and pieces get cut away. What remains is that the city gets 1% or 1.25%. If we let this lapse and we didn't put it on the ballot and did nothing, we go from a 1.25% piece of the pie, quarter of that,
1.5.
to just one. Yeah, so
Less.
yeah, it would reduce the sales tax from like 8.25 down to 8%.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But what's being lost is the street and road maintenance.
Well, I make a motion on calling a special election in November 2022 to authorize the sales tax for street maintenance as prescribed in section 327.007 of the tax code.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Okay, I have a motion. A second. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. Okay, and you wanted a 5-minute recess?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
It is 7:01 right now.
Make it 10.
Make it 10. All right, make it 10.
A 10-minute recess.
Okay.
Do we ask, is now the time to ask questions?
We haven't,
Yeah, if you have a question.
have we,
Let me
have we
bring it
opened up?
back to, it is 7:14. We will come back to order. Okay, Sonia, you'd like to ask a question?
So on here, it still shows that there's a 6-month probationary period. Does that still stand? And then,
So probationary periods are an interesting thing. We negotiate, Lisa and I negotiated a reduced probationary period. The question came up, what does the city's policy say on probationary periods? I am uncertain of the current employee policy that's in effect for the city, given the various revisions that have been presented, but maybe not fully adopted. There is mention about standard probationary period of 6 months. However, the difference between a probationary employee and an employee who's completed their probationary period doesn't have any bearing on their termination, because it's an at-will employment. So
Mhm.
whether somebody's on probation or not, they could be terminated at any time. That probationary period more so covers, as was envisioned in some drafts of the policy, any other disciplinary action that was taken less of a termination.
Mhm.
There would be a opportunity, if you're on probation, you do not have the opportunity to appeal. If you are off probationary period, then you would have an opportunity to appeal the decision to the next higher level. So if it was a decision by me, it could be appealed to the mayor. If it's the decision by the mayor, it could be appealed to the city council, and then the city council would handle.
Does it have anything to do with training?
No. Or benefits or anything like that. So again, I'm not aware of an employee policy that really
Okay.
covers that.
Uh-huh.
That's a draft that I've seen. I'm working on a new version of an employee policy that would cover that. So the discussion that Lisa and I had when offered her employment was to, what was it, a 30-day probationary period. I'm comfortable with a 30-day probationary period and making that adjustment. I missed that on this document.
And then there's another question I have. So then she'll have to still get, in this position, does she still have to get a floodplains administrator?
She may. She doesn't, it's not a requirement of the position that she retain her floodplain, she obtain a floodplain administrator's permit. It's only if she completes the training, she may be appointed to be the floodplain administrator.
Mhm, gotcha.
Do you intend to?
And then there
On
was-
this- On this page here, desired, it says right here on the 4th page.
And then there was one other training that, or one other thing that she needed to do, right? Was there one other training or no?
So there are, in terms of municipal planning, there are additional certificate programs that you can work towards achieving through the American Planners Association. The name of the certificate is different than AICPA or something like that.
Mhm.
It requires some years of professional planning experience, and then I believe there's an exam and some education, basic education requirements. So that's, again, any sort of there's no certifications that are required or licensure under the state law that's required for this position.
Gotcha, okay. Thank you.
So this is kind of on, if this is not on the agenda.
Huh?
It was a question that, because I presented, so yeah, for folks in the audience, the agenda item, it is related to the resignation of the city council member.
Yes.
I asked for a recess prior to the resignation so that she would be able to review the offer of employment based on the action that city council took at the previous meeting. I printed off the most recent versions of those documents to have those before we proceeded to the next agenda item. And there was a discussion and want to take that, or a question that was asked by a council member. So I took us off mute.
I had a question about the training.
Which
Off-
page?
The institute, the AICP and the floodplain certifications are highly desired. Are these training costs covered by the individual or by the city?
The city maintains a budget for employees and members of the governing body to pursue professional training.
And-
Like the mayor's obtained some training. Other employees have pursued training activities related to their job.
She's also there.
Your training's available to you. There's a newly elected members training that TML puts on. It's I think $75 or something like that
I
that
haven't
will be
done
funded
that.
out of that.
Highly recommended.
Haven't done-
Yes.
What's highly recommended?
The newly elected officials training that TML puts on about once a quarter.
Yeah, it's also here, attends professional development workshop and conferences to keep abreast of trends of development in the field of municipal planning. Here under experience, have to have 4 years municipal planning and code enforcement experience and or education completed at a regionally accredited college or university, or graduate work of urban planning, geography, construction management, civil engineering, landscape, architecture, public administration. What is your education?
What is my education?
Mhm.
Well,
What
this is another.
This isn't a job interview and this is not on the agenda, so we.
Oh, it's not.
We
Oh.
need to get back to
Okay,
the
sorry.
agenda, because what we're doing right now is
Nitpicky.
illegal.
Okay.
Okay, so the next agenda item is approving the resignation of city council member Lisa Shell Allen. City council place 3, and Lisa has asked to read her own resignation letter, and that would be okay.
You'll just initial those two. And this is just, for the public. Written to Mr. Hannibal, that it is a great pleasure to serve the city of Martindale, our community and its citizens in public service as a city council member since what I refer to more than not since 2007. My experience as chair and vice chair in Planning and Zoning Commission, along with other appointments over the years, have been valuable. Please accept this letter as a formal notice of my resignation from place 3 on Martindale City Council effective the 15th day of March in the year of 2022. Sincerely, Lisa Shell Allen.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the resignation of city council member Lisa Shaw Allen, city council place 3, effective March 15th, 2022.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion about this? Now we can talk about other stuff. Did you still want to ask a question about?
But I couldn't ask.
Well, now's kind of the discussion time after the motion and the second. So if you want to ask your question, you
Oh,
can
okay.
now.
Could you elaborate more on your experience other than like the city
Sure.
being on the planning and zoning committee?
I wonder what the relevancy to the motion is.
That's why.
Because city count,
Yeah, I don't. think it
the
is.
previous discussion was related to,
I'll talk to her later. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
That's.
okay, if there's no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Okay, the motion carries.
vote.
I voted second. I second.
Okay, and looking at future items, does anyone have anything that they would like to add to that list?
Oh, shoot. I did have a question. Can we open up the resignation thing again? Does this mean,
If it pleases the mayor. and
Yeah.
council.
can we open it up again?
Yes, you
This
may.
is- Does this mean her co-chair on the commission is null and void, or,
It
Yes.
means It's open.
so it's open, so you're no longer co-chair?
Ma'am.
Okay, so you don't
Because
have
she's
to
off the
resign
council.
from that.
It's just off council, off everything.
Oh,
So
okay.
right now, yes, the
Okay.
co-chair for the
That was
planning
all
and
I-
zoning board would be vacant.
And that would have been.
Good question.
Yes,
That's a good question. And that would have been, it will be, or should be.
on the next,
agenda,
that's why I asked.
The first meeting in June, when you reappoint your mayor pro tem.
Well,
Or you could do it on the 22nd if you
Yeah.
want to, before we
Okay.
get on to the meeting.
Yeah.
do it on the 22nd,
It says annual.
or when it's open.
Okay, back to number 6, future items. Does anyone have anything to add to that list?
Voting the co-chair.
I wanted to see if I could have a bicycle rodeo with the funds that we have for the safety, to utilize them for helmets.
That's a great idea.
Good idea.
Do you have a date or anything?
I could come up with
Well,
one,
that's a future
Yeah,
item.
yeah.
So we can talk about it.
but I'll kind of get all the information.
Yeah, especially if another city's done that already, we can just copy and paste what they've done.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Great.
Great little community
Yeah, so that's what,
thing.
yeah.
When were we going to go over the supplemental use table and the zoning and all those kinds of things?
On a future agenda item. So prior city council discussion regarding the scheduling of those zoning related issues was after the appointment of now the zoning administrator.
Mm,
So now that we have a zoning administrator who will start very soon, we'll work to schedule that out. So that might be on a discussion item on the 22nd is to schedule that. A workshop on that use table or other.
Do you want to put that on the agenda for the 22nd, you're saying?
It's on here as a future agenda item.
Oh,
Zoning ordinance 155, that covers the use table and plenty of other things.
mm. When the building administrator is hired, he will be reviewing the stack of, I guess, zoning ordinances and things that Pamela had been starting on, the file of buildings
so
and
I-
all that.
So I think the future agenda item for that would be the appointment of the building official, and we can dive into what the duties and responsibilities of the building official. But in a general sense, yes, code enforcement, what Pam was doing previously is included in that. But we can get into the full discussion.
Yeah.
And once
Okay.
those, now that at least
So what do
one
we-
position is established, that's something that you as a council member, if that were in
Mm.
my bag,
Mm.
you come directly to me and go,
Okay, but we can talk about this after the meeting. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
No other future agenda. It sounds like we have enough for the 22nd
Oh, we have,
and the future. We have enough for the next month. I would assume.
well, there's going to be a little wrinkle on the 22nd, but we'll
we're
put
not
that up.
talking about.
Well, we can.
Well, I guess as a future agenda item, we will likely need to, we'll probably hold the meeting on the 22nd, and we'll likely need to hold another meeting on the 28th or the 29th, due to some hiccups at the newspaper with publishing our public hearing notice. We've provided the information to them. They're just,
It
That's
was
on
the
the
first
next.
time ever. It just didn't get published.
Okay,
I want to make sure that's clear. That
Yes.
That was not a,
that wasn't us, it was a them, for once.
y'all can communicate that to
Yes.
email. too.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.